Every transformation begins in the mind. The way a person thinks, what they imagine, and what they believe shape the reality they experience. Visualization and belief are not just abstract concepts. They are the driving forces behind change. When someone vividly sees their desired outcome in their mind and believes in its inevitability, they set a powerful creative process into motion. The subconscious mind, which governs thoughts, behaviors, and actions, responds to what it is repeatedly impressed with. When an individual consistently visualizes a specific result and fully believes in it, their reality begins to shift accordingly. Visualization is more than just daydreaming. It is a deliberate act of seeing and feeling oneself in the desired state as if it has already happened. The mind does not distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. This is why elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and high achievers across various fields use visualization techniques to prepare themselves for success. Your inner mind affects your daily activity in more ways than your outer ones. Your inner mind actually leads your brain to act, women, and behave in action. When a person visualizes with clarity, their subconscious mind accepts the experience as real, making it easier to take the necessary actions that lead to actualizing that vision. Belief is the foundation that sustains visualization. Without belief, visualization remains an empty exercise. If a person envisions success but internally doubts it, their conflicting thoughts weaken the manifestation process. The subconscious mind follows what is deeply believed, not what is merely wished for. This is why those who achieve greatness often have an unshakable faith in their dreams. They see it, feel it, and most importantly, believe it is already theirs. This belief influences their energy, their decisions, and how they respond to challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, they perceive them as steps toward their goal. The process of change begins with persistent mental rehearsal. When a person consistently visualizes their desired outcome, their mind adapts to this new reality. It rewires thought patterns, strengthens confidence, and aligns emotions with the vision. Over time, the body and mind synchronize with this assumed reality, making it feel natural. This is how people break free from old habits and adopt new behaviors effortlessly. They are not forcing change, they are embodying the reality they have created in their minds. Emotion plays a crucial role in visualization. Simply seeing an outcome is not enough. One must feel it deeply. The stronger the emotional connection to the vision, the faster it materializes. When visualizing success, wealth, health, or happiness, the key is to generate the emotions associated with that state. If one visualizes abundance but feels lack, their subconscious mind registers lack as the dominant belief. But when they immerse themselves in the feeling of already having what they desire, their subconscious mind accepts it as truth, and the external world must conform. Repetition is essential in embedding new beliefs. Most people operate based on beliefs they have held for years, beliefs shaped by past experiences, societal conditioning, and personal limitations. To create change, new beliefs must replace the old ones through constant reinforcement. This is why daily visualization, combined with unwavering belief, accelerates transformation. The more the mind is exposed to a new reality, the more natural it becomes, and soon the individual starts acting in ways that align with that new belief. Doubt and fear are the greatest obstacles to change. When an individual doubts their vision, they send mixed signals to the subconscious, creating resistance. This is why faith is essential. Even when there is no visible proof of progress, belief must remain strong. Those who persist in their vision, regardless of external circumstances, eventually see their reality shift. The world conforms to the assumptions held most firmly. Many people look at their current circumstances and believe they are bound by them. They assume change is difficult or impossible because they cannot see immediate results. But reality is fluid, shaped by the mind. The moment one begins to see themselves differently and believe in that new identity, the external world starts adjusting to match it. It is not about waiting for change. It is about becoming the change internally first. Those who master visualization and belief understand that they are the architects of their lives. They do not leave their future to chance or circumstances. Instead, they create it with intention. They see what they desire, they believe in it with unwavering faith, and they move through life as if it is already theirs. Over time, what was once only a vision becomes undeniable reality. Growth is not something that needs to be announced or proven to others. It reveals itself naturally through actions, mindset, and the way life unfolds. True transformation is not about seeking validation, but about becoming a living example of change. When a person focuses on improving themselves, their progress becomes evident without the need for explanations. Growth is a silent force, shaping character, refining skills, and elevating life in ways that words cannot fully capture. In a world where people often seek immediate recognition for their efforts, real development happens quietly. The most profound growth occurs behind the scenes, in moments of discipline, perseverance, and self-reflection. It is built in the hours spent mastering a skill, overcoming internal battles, and pushing through setbacks. Those who focus on the journey rather than the applause understand that external validation is temporary, but self-improvement lasts forever. The need to prove oneself stems from insecurity. When someone constantly feels the urge to announce their achievements or seek approval, it often reveals a deeper uncertainty about their worth. But those who are truly growing do not need to convince anyone. Their confidence comes from within, rooted in the knowledge that progress is happening regardless of who notices. The strongest individuals are not the ones who talk about their success. They are the ones who let their actions demonstrate it. Growth becomes evident in the way a person carries themselves. The way they speak, the way they respond to challenges, and the way they treat others all reflect their level of transformation. A person who has grown mentally and emotionally does not need to declare their wisdom. It is apparent in their calmness, their clarity, and their ability to navigate life with grace. They no longer react impulsively, nor do they waste energy on things that no longer serve them. Their evolution is visible in the way they handle situations that would have once unsettled them. One of the greatest signs of personal growth is detachment from external validation. When a person no longer seeks approval, applause, or acknowledgement, they have reached a level of inner security that cannot be shaken. They understand that their worth is not determined by others' opinions, but by their own self-awareness. They continue to grow, not because they need to prove anything, but because they are committed to becoming the best version of themselves. Growth also manifests in the opportunities that come naturally. People who dedicate themselves to improvement attract better circumstances, relationships, and experiences. Success does not require constant self-promotion. It follows those who are prepared for it. Doors open effortlessly for those who have developed the discipline, skills, and mindset to walk through them. Instead of chasing recognition, they focus on mastery, and in doing so, they become undeniable. Time is the greatest revealer of growth. While some people may doubt or underestimate the progress of those on a path of self-improvement, time always tells the truth. The person who quietly works on their craft, develops resilience, and refines their vision will eventually stand apart from those who only seek quick validation. When true growth happens, it cannot be ignored. Even those who once overlooked it will have no choice but to acknowledge the transformation. There is power in letting results speak louder than words. When someone focuses on self-betterment rather than trying to impress others, they build a foundation of lasting success. Those who chase approval may receive temporary recognition, but those who focus on growth create a legacy. They move with purpose, not for applause, but for the fulfillment of knowing they are evolving. A person who is truly growing does not need to compare themselves to others. They understand that their journey is unique and that progress is not measured by how quickly they succeed, but by how consistently they improve. They trust that everything they are working toward will materialize in due time. They do not rush or force results. They simply become the kind of person who naturally attracts the success they desire. Real growth does not need to be advertised. It is seen in the way a person speaks with wisdom, moves with confidence, and lives with purpose. It is not something that requires validation, because the transformation itself is the reward. Those who truly grow understand that they have nothing to prove. Their progress will always speak for itself. Many people spend their lives trying to prove themselves to others, to society, and sometimes even to themselves. They chase validation, constantly seeking recognition to feel worthy. They measure success by how much they impress others, how much praise they receive, and whether they are seen as significant. But this pursuit is a distraction. True growth does not come from proving, it comes from improving. When a person shifts their focus from proving their worth to becoming better each day, they unlock real transformation. Proving oneself is rooted in external validation. It is the belief that worthiness must be demonstrated and confirmed by others. This mindset leads to a fragile sense of self-worth, where confidence rises and falls depending on how people respond. If one is praised, they feel capable and important. If they are ignored or criticized, they feel inadequate. This creates a dangerous dependency, making individuals shape their actions based on approval rather than personal truth. In contrast, focusing on improvement shifts the attention inward. It prioritizes progress over perception, mastery over image, and self-growth over public recognition. When people live to prove themselves, they often operate from insecurity. They feel the need to showcase their success, highlight their achievements, and make sure others see their value. They fear looking weak, making mistakes, or failing in front of others. This fear holds them back from taking risks and learning from failure. It leads to hesitation, perfectionism, and stress. But those who prioritize improvement do not seek perfection. They seek progress. They are not afraid to try, fail, and learn because their focus is not on how they appear, but on how they grow. The most successful and fulfilled individuals do not waste energy trying to prove themselves. They dedicate their time to refining their skills, deepening their knowledge, and becoming the best version of themselves. They understand that validation is temporary, but self-mastery lasts a lifetime. They do not need to announce their success because their results speak for themselves. They do not let criticism shake them because they know their growth is a personal journey, not a performance for others. Society conditions people to seek approval. From a young age, individuals are taught that their value is measured by achievement, status, and recognition. They are told they must prove themselves through grades, promotions, and accolades. While success is not inherently wrong, the problem arises when it becomes the sole purpose of action. When achievement is pursued for validation rather than personal fulfillment, it becomes empty. That was before my time, and I have proven that you can build a distinguished career based on success and affection rather than opposing the other. People reach milestones only to find themselves still unsatisfied, still needing more approval. But when improvement is the goal, every step forward is fulfilling. Growth itself becomes the reward, not external recognition. Focusing on self-improvement brings freedom. It removes the pressure to constantly perform and impress. It allows individuals to embrace challenges as learning experiences rather than threats to their self-worth. When improvement is the priority, failure is no longer feared. It is seen as part of the process. There is no shame in not knowing everything because learning is the goal. There is no fear of being seen as not good enough because the only competition is with one's past self. Those who choose improvement over proving find peace in their journey. They no longer need to compare themselves to others. They understand that each person is on a different path and success is not a competition. They move at their own pace, focusing on becoming better today than they were yesterday. They celebrate their progress, no matter how small, because they know every step forward is meaningful. As is a further, in the pursuit of proving, people often lose themselves. They chase images of success that are not truly their own. They follow paths that impress others rather than fulfill them. But those who focus on improvement stay true to themselves. They do not need to prove anything to anyone because they know their growth is real. They trust that their work, dedication, and evolution will naturally lead to success, not as a means of validation, but as a byproduct of their journey. The only person one truly needs to impress is themselves. The real measure of success is not how much recognition one receives, but how much they have grown. The question should not be, do others see my value? But rather, am I becoming better every day? Because when improvement is the focus, proving becomes irrelevant. The law of assumption states that whatever a person assumes to be true will eventually become their reality. It is not merely wishful thinking or blind optimism, but a fundamental principle that governs the way individuals experience life. Every belief, every expectation, and every assumption shapes the world around them. The mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, creates reality based on what it consistently assumes to be true. So positive thinking can make a difference in the life of any person. The more you resist it, the more you create it. The more you create it, the more you resist it. This law operates at all times, whether one is aware of it or not. The results in life are a reflection of deeply held assumptions, not of external circumstances or random chance. A person who assumes success, abundance, and fulfillment will naturally experience opportunities that align with those beliefs. Conversely, someone who assumes failure, lack, and struggle will continue to encounter obstacles that confirm those expectations. Assumptions dictate perception, influence actions, and ultimately shape reality. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what is persistently impressed upon it. When a belief is held with conviction, the external world must conform to it. Every achievement, every failure, every experience a person encounters is rooted in their dominant assumptions. The law of assumption does not require effort or force. It requires faith in the unseen. When an individual assumes something with certainty, they begin to think, feel, and act in alignment with that assumption. Their energy shifts, their decisions change, and the way they interact with the world reflects their inner conviction. In time, their outer world must reflect the inner state they have accepted as true. Most people live by default, assuming conditions based on past experiences and external circumstances. They believe in limitations because they have repeatedly encountered them. They assume scarcity because they have witnessed lack. They accept struggle as inevitable because it has been their reality for so long. But the law of assumption is not bound by the past. The moment an individual deliberately assumes a new reality, the transformation begins. Changing assumptions requires discipline. It is not enough to wish for a better life while continuing to assume failure and disappointment. A shift must take place at the core level of belief. This means identifying limiting assumptions and replacing them with empowering ones. If one has long assumed that success is difficult, they must begin to assume that it is effortless. If they have assumed that love is hard to find, they must replace that belief with the assumption that love flows easily into their life. Repetition, visualization, and inner conviction reinforce these new assumptions until they become natural. The key to mastering this law is persistence. The outer world may not immediately reflect the new assumption, but this does not mean the law is not working. The subconscious needs time to accept the new reality, and during this period, doubt must not be entertained. Those who waver between their old and new assumptions will delay their results, but those who remain steadfast in their new beliefs will soon see their reality shift to match them. Many people try to change their circumstances without first changing their assumptions. They take action out of desperation rather than belief, and as a result, they remain stuck in cycles of struggle. True transformation happens when actions flow naturally from a new state of being. When one assumes themselves to be successful, they do not need to force opportunities. They attract them effortlessly. When they assume love and happiness, they naturally carry themselves with the energy that draws those experiences to them. This law applies to every area of life. Whether it is wealth, relationships, health, or personal growth, assumptions determine what is possible. Those who believe in their own worth, who assume that life is unfolding in their favor, and who trust that their desires are already fulfilled, will inevitably see these truths reflected in their world. The law of assumption is not a mystical concept reserved for a few. It is a fundamental truth that governs all human experience. It does not require external validation or permission. It operates with absolute certainty, responding only to what one deeply believes to be true. Those who understand and apply it deliberately will find that life no longer happens to them. They shape it according to their assumptions. This one also shares a visual reminder of your subjective experience, one present within you in a visual word. There is power in every thought you think, every word you speak, and every image you hold in your mind. Your life is shaped not by the world around you, but by the world within you. We spend so much of our time trying to prove ourselves to others, prove that we are worthy, capable, or deserving of success. But the truth is, the only thing that matters is your inner transformation. Your life is not shaped by what happens around you, it is shaped by what happens within you. Everything you experience in the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions, the way you see yourself, the way you interpret events, and the way you react to challenges all stem from the ideas you hold in your mind. If you believe the world is against you, you will find proof of that everywhere. If you believe you are capable and destined for greatness, your reality will begin to align with that belief. Every thought you think has power. Every mental image you entertain shapes your experience. When you live in a state of fear, doubt, or unworthiness, your actions and decisions reflect that state of mind. You hesitate to take opportunities. You second-guess yourself, and you allow external circumstances to dictate your mood. But when you cultivate a strong inner world, one filled with confidence, faith, and clarity, everything shifts. You begin to act with certainty, make bold moves, and attract experiences that confirm your inner transformation. Many people believe that if only their circumstances would change, then they could finally be happy or successful. But this is an illusion. It is not the external world that must change first. It is the inner world. If you constantly focus on lack, struggle, or failure, those experiences will repeat in your life, not because the world is against you, but because your mind continues to expect them. The key is to shift your focus inward and reshape the thoughts you entertain daily. Imagine yourself as the person you want to become. See yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the confidence, the joy, the success as if it were already yours. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking, it is creation. The mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. If you persist in assuming a new reality internally, the outer world must conform. This is the law of creation. What you assume to be true within yourself becomes true in your world. People who succeed in life do not wait for the world to validate them. They first validate themselves. They believe they are capable even before they have evidence. They trust that their desires are possible even when there is no physical proof. This is what separates those who achieve from those who remain stuck. It is not external talent, luck, or resources. It is the ability to see oneself as already successful, already transformed, already living in the desired state. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always responding to the messages you send it. If you tell yourself that you are not good enough, that things never work out for you, or that you must struggle to succeed, your subconscious mind will accept those beliefs and shape your reality accordingly. But the moment you start feeding your mind with new thoughts, thoughts of possibility, strength, and certainty, you begin to break free from old limitations. You step into a new version of yourself, one that is no longer controlled by fear or doubt. This transformation does not happen overnight, but it happens with consistency. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your inner work requires patience. But if you stay committed to changing your mindset, you will start to notice shifts in your reality. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will arise. Situations that once seemed impossible will suddenly become achievable. Not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. You cannot control everything that happens in life, but you can always control your inner world. You can choose how you react. You can choose the story you tell yourself. You can choose to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. When you take full responsibility for your inner world, nothing outside of you has the power to break you. You realize that success, happiness, and fulfillment are not things you chase. They are things you create from within. Your outer world will always be a mirror of your inner state. If you want to change your life, change your thoughts. If you want to experience more love, embody love. If you want success, see yourself as successful. If you want to break free from limitations, stop reinforcing them in your mind. The moment you shift your inner reality, the outer world will have no choice but to follow. From an early age, people are conditioned to seek approval from others. As children, approval from parents and teachers determines whether we feel accepted or rejected. As we grow, the need for validation extends to friends, colleagues, and society as a whole. People measure their worth by how others perceive them, by the praise they receive, and by whether they meet external expectations. The Emisite, you powerless to reach the atomic when you become unconditional, but living in constant pursuit of approval is a trap, one that keeps individuals from discovering their true power. When a person seeks validation from the outside world, they surrender their control to forces beyond their reach. They become dependent on opinions that change with the wind, basing their confidence on whether others accept or reject them. This leads to an unstable sense of self, where one feels worthy only when praised, and inadequate when ignored or criticized. The truth is, no amount of external approval will ever be enough to satisfy an inner void. No amount of recognition will ever bring lasting fulfillment. The real transformation happens when one decides that their worth is not up for debate. There is nothing wrong with being acknowledged or appreciated, but when approval becomes a requirement for self-acceptance, it turns into a burden. It leads to hesitation, second-guessing, and self-doubt. It causes people to shape their actions and words based on what will be accepted rather than what is true to them. They suppress their thoughts, downplay their achievements, and mold themselves to fit expectations that do not align with their authentic selves. In doing so, they abandon the most important relationship in life, the relationship with themselves. Those who live seeking approval become prisoners of perception. They hesitate to take risks because they fear failure will make them look weak. They avoid expressing their true opinions for fear of rejection. They measure their success not by how they feel about their progress, but by how many people acknowledge it. This is not freedom. This is bondage. A person who lives for external approval is like a leaf in the wind, drifting in whichever direction the world pushes them. The irony is that the moment one stops seeking validation, true confidence begins to grow. When a person no longer needs approval, they become powerful. They act from a place of authenticity, driven by their own values rather than the expectations of others. They move forward boldly, not because they are trying to impress anyone, but because they trust themselves. This shift in mindset changes everything. People respect those who stand firm in their beliefs, who do not waver in their convictions, and who do not shrink themselves to fit in. When someone carries themselves with certainty, others naturally take notice. not because they are seeking approval, but because they have stopped chasing it. Paradoxically, those who no longer seek validation often receive the most respect. But the difference is, they no longer need it. Remember, take any label that matches your mind and heart's freshness, but the difference is, they no longer need it. Fear of disapproval holds many people back from living the life they truly desire. They worry about what friends will think if they change. They fear judgment if they take an unconventional path. They hesitate to leave situations that no longer serve them because they do not want to disappoint others. But living to please others is a sure way to live an unfulfilled life. The people who are meant to support your journey will respect you for following your truth, and those who do not understand were never meant to walk the path with you. True self-acceptance means deciding that your worth is not determined by external opinions. It means recognizing that no one has the power to define you except yourself. It means understanding that the only approval you truly need is your own. The moment you stop living for applause and start living for purpose, you become unstoppable. You make decisions based on what is right for you, not what will gain approval. You move through life with an inner peace that cannot be shaken by the changing tides of public opinion. The key to breaking free from the need for validation is to cultivate inner certainty. This means trusting your intuition, standing by your choices, and knowing that you are enough as you are. It requires shifting the focus from external opinions to internal growth. Instead of asking, will they approve? The question becomes, is this right for me? Instead of wondering, do they see my worth? The thought shifts to, do I see my worth? This shift is the foundation of true confidence. Life is too short to be lived according to the expectations of others. The world is filled with opinions, but none of them define you. The only voice that truly matters is the one within. When you stop seeking external approval, you reclaim your power. You realize that your worth has never been dependent on whether others see it. You begin to walk with certainty, act with confidence, and live with purpose, not to prove anything, but because you know who you are.